Yes, Johnny, but do you not understand? You're saying ever. That mean never. I mean, so you're saying in the history of the rest of our lives, we'll never win one. That's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That word again, you better be right. Like, don't throw that out there unless you're going to be right when you're not going to be right. She's not. Imagine if you told Alabama fans that in 1990, like what, 9? You would be saying the same thing. They were god awful, terrible, disgusting. Mac Jones was a 3-star. He was. That's what I'm saying. There's hidden gems there. You just have to find them and develop them. Yeah, but you don't even know what the spread. What if the spread is 16 and a half? You think they can keep it within that? I mean, they could lose by 17 and not cover. And I'd still actually, that wouldn't even be that bad of a loss to me, 17 points. I'd have to do some research on that. They've been 5-7 before. They were pretty bad. The Birds' word. Texas will be in the SEC for a decade. They will leave and go. I mean, they could do that now, and that wouldn't. I mean, they'd probably benefit from that a lot. They'd make more money. They'd get to schedule easier games. So they could do that. They could do that now. Texas 4-5. Oh, 100%. Stars don't matter if you don't develop them because you're just saying basically what stars are or how good you are in high school for some of them, but most of them are what they see you could be, what they see your talent becoming, like what your ceiling is. And the thing is, if you don't get any better coming out of high school, it doesn't matter. If a 3-star progressively gets better every year and stays to his 4th year, he's going to be better than the 5-star who came out of high school and has stayed the exact same 99% of the time. That's just how it works. Yeah, they were terrible. So I don't know what he's talking about. I'm pretty sure they had, just for that, I'm going to check Alabama's record during the 90s. But also, yeah, try beats talent. Maybe not every debate, but any day of the week. Screw the 5-star bullshit means nothing. If you, I mean, yeah, I agree. I would rather get 5 stars and then bring out the best in them because look, that's how you win national championships. Don't get it wrong. Like if you look at the past 15 national championships won, every one of them other than one, I think over a 4-year stretch had a top 10 recruiting average. I think Clemson was the only one that didn't. So recruiting does matter, but you also there again, if you look down every like national championship roster, there's always 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5, by a handful of kids that are like 3-star recruits that the coaches saw something in them, brought the best out of them, and they were really good. These kids drink the possibly, or are you getting kids that again? But see, that's the thing too. Why aren't the kids that come from Texas drinking the Kool-Aid when they go to Ohio State? They have more to drink the Kool-Aid about there than they do at Texas. So I don't know. I wouldn't say A&M was bad. They were just a really average program. But yeah, he made them what they are today. I'm gonna look up Alabama in the 90s. Yes, Alabama had a sustained period of suck too. Like 5-6. They went 3-8 in 2000. So yeah, you're just wrong there, man. But 100% A&M is still extremely like just average. They're not. I mean, they're better than average. They're good now. They've gone from good to average. Not this long. I agree with you. Like Alabama's longest stretch of being mediocre or bad was basically 5 years. It's definitely not gone on this long. But their bad was just as bad as our bad was, so just not as long over a long period of time. And Nick's first year is different. Nick's, I mean, 7-6, they're better. I mean, that's better than what we are right now. But like I said, in 2000 they went 3-8. So The only like teams you can look back on the history and like say, wow, that team didn't have any like bad years are Oklahoma and Ohio State. Like, and I shouldn't say it like bad years. I should say more than a year or two stretch of being average or bad. Those teams like break out of that or were never have one, or Oklahoma and Ohio State. Just look at the records. They never like go back and look. We're never a terrible program. They were always at least average. The second best player on Texas defense was a fifth string receiver transfer from Oregon. I don't know if he's our second best player, but I will say he probably gives the most effort on defense. The last 2 weeks, especially, he's been. I think he might be our leader on defense. I don't know. He might be. Nah, you could. I think you could make an argument he's our third best player. He's not our second. I think Anthony Cook and DeMarvion Overshawn are better players personally, but he's definitely. I think he puts in the most effort out of everyone on defense. Yeah, he's not going to admit he's wrong. People don't admit they're wrong anymore. It's very rare to find. I did it a couple weeks ago when someone said we could possibly lose to Kansas about a month and a half ago. Someone said that. I was like, that's not going to happen. And then 2 weeks ago, I came on and said, there's a really good chance we're going to lose to Kansas. And we did. Like, I can be wrong. Everyone can be wrong. If he's saying over a 12-year period that Alabama was never as bad as Texas, 100% right. But there was, again, a 5-year stretch. And during one of those years, they went 3-8. Nick Saban also 100%. That's the thing that scares me. The defense has progressively gotten worse throughout the year and got worse from last year to this year. So that's why I'm so angry about the defense. Like, and I don't see a vision. Again, with the offense, there's inconsistencies. There's some players that we need to take out and plug in better players for. And there's some shooting yourselves in the foot, but you see the vision on offense. I don't see the vision on defense. I just don't. If someone can help me paint the picture of it, by all means, jump in the comments and see what I'm missing, but I just don't see it. Sid Irish. We need all the, if you're an Irish fan, please pray for us. We need all the prayer, help, energy we can get. Okay, if you're talking about over a 12-year period, fine, you're right. But if you're talking about for any period, you're wrong because Alabama was bad. I felt bad for you during the chance. I knew we were going to lose when we went down 14-0. I was like, we're going to lose. We're going to lose. And then then of course we come back and then again down 35-14. Again, I never felt the game was out of reach. I always thought it was going to come down to the wire like that, but they were going to win. There was just no way they weren't going to win that game. Texas just doesn't have to fight to pull out a game like that anymore. By the way, I was wrong. Let me say this. So I said Oklahoma State wasn't a great team, and I stand by that. They're not a great team. But the good thing or bad thing, depends how you look on about college football this year. There's only one true great team. I think Ohio State has a chance to be that second one. So possibly two great teams. So that means you're going to put two teams or good teams. I'm going to say good teams, not they're not two good teams in the playoff. So Oklahoma State is definitely a good enough team to be in the college football playoff. They've got to go out and beat Oklahoma. And this is probably, I thought this last year, if you guys can't beat them this year, I don't know when you're going to beat them. You have to beat them this year. You have a better team. Your defense is spectacular. I think it's a top 5 defense in the country. So you got to beat Oklahoma this year. And if you do, you have a real shot at making the college football playoff. I think if you have your one loss and you win the Big 12 championship and it's you versus Cincinnati, you'll probably get in. So, and I like Mike Gundy. I don't hate Oklahoma State. So they're kind of one of those teams where I'm just indifferent on. I don't really have an opinion on them, to be honest with you. Can we borrow touchdown Jesus for a season? I think we may need him for more than this season. We may need him for like a decade. Sure, just return him. No, we're going to steal him and keep him. Yeah, but the problem, Jeremiah, they're not sound. They're the worst. You know what being a sound team is? You don't make mental mistakes. You tackle well, and you keep teams out of their end zone when they get in the red zone. He literally does none of those well. So I don't know what to say. And I agree that he doesn't have the talent, but also adjust your scheme to the talent. Like if you're getting like beaten the way that I was saying, just blitz every down then. I'd rather them score faster so we get the ball back quicker and they're able to stay in a rhythm than them have an 8-minute drive and they end up scoring a touchdown on. Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know, but I think Ohio State would wipe the floor with them now. I don't think Oregon's that good. I thought they've been overrated the whole season. I thought them and Notre Dame have been the two most overrated teams, and I was wrong on Notre Dame. I still think I'm right on Oregon. I'll hold out hope on that one. We'll see though. I don't know. Utah always tends to choke, so we'll see. I agree it's going to be hard to beat them twice, but again, the Pac-12 is just there's not good football out there. There's just not. I have no interest in watching that conference play football. Yeah, that's the thing. They don't have a quarterback, but their defense is phenomenal. And let's say they were the 3 seed, Ohio State versus Oklahoma State. That'd be an interesting game for the simple fact I think they could contain. The key to beating Ohio State is getting pressure on CJ Stroud. If you get pressure on him, he'll make mistakes. He still has that tendency. But the problem was when I was watching the Michigan State game, the little bit that I did watch, that guy had all day to throw. And when you have all day to throw with those 3 guys at wide receiver, and then you have Travion Henderson in the backfield, like you're gonna kill people, man. So you got to get pressure on him. Their defense still isn't that good. Michigan State's wasn't able to test that because they have a god awful quarterback. Like Spencer Sanders compared to Michigan State's quarterback is like it's like Joe Montana and freaking Jimmy versus Jimmy Clausen. Like Michigan State's quarterback is terrible. Michigan's quarterback's terrible. Michigan has a better shot versus Ohio State because their defense is a little bit better, and their quarterback is just a little bit better, even though he's not good. And it's going to be in Ann Arbor, so that'll help as well.